Sebastian Haller signed by West Ham from Eintracht Frankfurt in 2009 for £50 million and sold to Ajax just 18 months later for a £25 million loss. Now, I don't care who you are as a football club, £25 million is not pocket change. Even if you're a Man City or a Paris Saint-Germain, with financial fair play, this takes a dent out of the war chest for transfers. But this wasn't one of the big oil-backed clubs. A £25 million loss on just one player has to be a huge cause for concern for a club like West Ham United. Certainly they couldn't afford to take this kind of gamble on a player too often. And here's the problem that I've mentioned on so many occasions. It is a gamble. Now, where was the problem here? Was it that Haller was a bad player? Well, his success in the German Bundesliga before joining West Ham suggests that he was an excellent player. Now, the fact that he's now playing really well at Ajax suggests that he is an excellent player. So he should have been a brilliant and very successful signing for West Ham, but he wasn't. So what was the issue? Now, once again, we have another situation where fans are demanding that their club invests in a new defender, a new midfielder, or in this case, a striker. But what they really mean is we want you to go out as a club and not invest, but gamble millions and millions and millions of pounds. And then all of us here, we're going to keep our fingers crossed. And we just hope that that player fits in and becomes a success. And that's exactly what West Ham ended up doing. They purchased the player and thought that all they needed to do was get him physically fit, sort out his accommodation and show him around. Now, of course, I'm being a little tongue-in-cheek here, as there's a lot more to it. But they still didn't do what they needed to do to make the player a success. Now, in short, West Ham failed to protect their investment. They failed the player also, as they didn't put in the structure to maximise his success and his impact. And although we're talking about Haller and West Ham, this sort of thing happens every transfer window up and down the country, often involving ridiculous sums of money. Now, when we refer to the mental part of the game, we often hear the myth of that extra 1 or 2%. But in reality, when we talk about a player's mental game, a player's confidence, a player's resilience, a player's psychology, what we are ultimately referring to is a player's brain. Now, let me ask you, what part of your life or a footballer's life, on or off the pitch, is not controlled by your brain? Now, your brain, a player's brain, Haller's brain, is responsible for everything he does at any time. If Haller has the best parts of his brain in control off the pitch, in training, on match days, now he feels good. He approaches everything with enthusiasm, drive, commitment and certainty. And most importantly for West Ham and Haller's career, these parts of the brain enable him to play to the limits of his ability consistently and to his optimum. So why are clubs still paying vast sums of money and simply gambling when they could be assisting a player to get an understanding of their brain, to know what to expect from their brains when they make these moves, how to get the right parts of their brain back in control? Because when they do this, they can hit the ground running after a transfer. They can see their value going up rather than down. Now, in Haller's own words, he said, of course, when people are talking about the price tag every day, they are waiting every day for something for this money. You can do nothing about this price. It is the price tag you have on your back for all your West Ham career. People will see you with another view. They expect even more from you than anyone else. It was really frustrating to see games coming and no goals, sometimes not involved. The stats are something, but I had the feeling that I couldn't find a perfect place on the pitch. The feeling that sometimes you don't understand or cannot anticipate what your partner will do. It was really strange. Now, in Haller's own words, he was experiencing frustration. He had uncertainty, and at the same time, he simply didn't know why he wasn't able to perform like he knew he could. Now, all of these negative emotions that he was experiencing were putting him into his red brain. Now, this part of your brain are where his best performances are impossible. His confidence is shot, and any possibility of improvement with this red brain control were virtually impossible. So why is it that West Ham did not realise the enormous performance and financial implications of just how important this is to Haller or any player at any time, but particularly when a player has just been involved in a high-profile move? Because this is the time where the brain is going to perhaps experience more uncertainty than at any other time in their career. And this means that the player is going to be physically less able to play to their best, simply because of what is physically happening inside their brain. Now, whether you're a West Ham fan or not, I know you can think of countless players who had the ability to become huge successes at your club, but they simply didn't. Now, football clubs are so far behind in this area, and it is costing them so much success on the pitch and many, many, many millions of pounds off of it. Now, let me know your thoughts on this.